The Discovery. The vast expanse of space stretched out before the viewport of Starbase Epsilon, a bustling hub of interstellar activity nestled in the outer reaches of the Orion Arm. Commander Lara Chen stood with her hands clasped behind her back, her dark eyes scanning the star-speckled void. The starbase housed a diverse crew of humans and aliens, all working together to push the boundaries of space exploration and scientific discovery. As Lara turned from the viewport, her gaze fell upon the organized chaos of the command center. Screens flickered with data streams, and the low hum of conversations filled the air. It was a typical day aboard Epsilon, or so it seemed. Commander Chen, "We're picking up something unusual," called out Lieutenant Zarak, his antennae twitching with excitement. The Andorian's blue skin seemed to shimmer under the harsh lighting of his workstation. Lara strode over, her curiosity piqued. "What have you got, Lieutenant?" Zarek's fingers danced across his console, bringing up a holographic display of a distant sector. "It's an anomaly, unlike anything we've ever encountered. The energy readings are off the charts, and it seems to be pulsing." The commander leaned in, her brow furrowed as she studied the readouts. The anomaly appeared as a swirling mass of energy, its colors shifting and changing in a hypnotic dance. "Have you cross-referenced this with known phenomena?" "Affirmative, Commander. It doesn't match anything in our databases," Zarak replied, his voice tinged with a mix of excitement and apprehension. Lara straightened, her mind racing with possibilities. "Alert the science team. I want a full analysis within the hour." She tapped her communicator. "Dr. Ilara Tusoni, please report to the command center immediately." Within minutes, the doors slid open, and Dr. Tusoni entered. The Asari scientist's blue skin and tentacle-like scalp crests set her apart from the human crew members. Her eyes sparkled with intelligence as she approached Lyra. "Commander, what's the situation?" Ilara asked, her melodious voice carrying a hint of an accent. Lyra gestured to the holographic display. "We've detected an anomaly, Doctor. I need your expertise to make sense of it." As Ilara began her analysis, the command center buzzed with activity. News of the discovery spread quickly through the starbase, and soon curious crew members found excuses to pass by and catch a glimpse of the mysterious phenomenon. Hours passed as the science team worked tirelessly to unravel the secrets of the anomaly. Lara paced the command center, her mind whirling with questions and potential scenarios. Finally, Ilara approached her, datapad in hand. "Commander, we've compiled our initial findings," the Asari said, her expression a mix of excitement and concern. "The anomaly appears to be artificial in nature. We believe it may be of alien origin, possibly millions of years old." Lara's eyes widened. "Artificial? Are you certain?" Ilara nodded. "The energy patterns are too regular to be natural. Moreover, we've detected faint traces of an unknown element at its core. This could be the discovery of the century, Commander." The implications of this discovery were staggering. Lara took a deep breath, steadying herself. "Recommendations, Doctor?" "We need to investigate further," Ilara replied without hesitation. "I suggest assembling an exploration team to study the anomaly up close." Lyra nodded, her decision already made. "Agreed. I'll begin putting together a team immediately. We'll need the best and brightest for this mission." Over the next few days, Starbase Epsilon was a hive of activity. Lyra carefully selected her team, choosing experts from various fields. In addition to Dr. Tassoni, she recruited Lieutenant Zarak for his expertise in sensor technology and communications. Chief Engineer Ravi Kapoor, a brilliant human known for his unorthodox problem-solving skills, was brought on board to handle any technical challenges they might face. The team was rounded out by Security Officer Grix, a towering Krokran whose rock-like skin and immense strength made him an imposing figure. Despite his fearsome appearance, Grix was known for his gentle nature and keen tactical mind. As the crew prepared for their journey, Lara couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the brink of something monumental. The unknown element at the heart of the anomaly could revolutionize their understanding of the universe or pose an unprecedented threat. In the Starbase's main hangar, engineers and technicians swarmed around the sleek exploration vessel christened the Curiosity. Chief Engineer Kapoor supervised the final preparations, his dark eyes scrutinizing every detail. "How's she looking, Ravi?" Lara asked as she approached, admiring the ship's smooth lines and advanced sensor arrays. The encounter. The Curiosity glided through the inky blackness of space, its advanced engines humming with barely contained power. Commander Lara Chen sat in the captain's chair, her eyes fixed on the main view screen. The anomaly loomed before them, a swirling vortex of energy that seemed to defy the laws of physics. "Status report," Lyra called out, her voice steady despite the tension that crackled through the bridge. Lieutenant Zarek's antennae twitched as he responded. "We're approaching the outer edge of the anomaly, Commander. Energy readings are intensifying, but our shields are holding." Dr. Elara Tassoni's melodious voice chimed in. "The unknown element we detected is growing stronger. It's unlike anything in our databases." As they drew closer, the anomaly's true nature began to reveal itself. What had appeared as a formless mass of energy from a distance now took on a more distinct shape. Laura leaned forward, her eyes widening in awe. "Is that a structure?" she breathed. Floating at the heart of the swirling energies was an enormous construct, its surface adorned with intricate patterns that pulsed with an otherworldly light. The artifact was clearly artificial, its design so advanced it bordered on the miraculous. "Incredible," Elara whispered, her blue fingers dancing across her console. "The structure appears to be millions of years old, yet it's generating enough power to fuel a small star." Chief Engineer Ravi Kapoor's voice crackled over the comm. "Commander, I'm detecting some kind of gravitational field emanating from the artifact. It's pulling us in." Lyra gripped the arms of her chair. "Ravi, can you break us free?" "Negative, Commander," Ravi replied, the strain evident in his voice. "The field is too strong. We're being drawn towards some kind of docking port." "All hands, brace for impact," Lyra commanded, her heart racing as the Curiosity was inexorably pulled towards the ancient structure. With a gentle thud that belied the immense forces at work, the ship came to rest within a cavernous bay. Silence fell over the bridge as the crew took in their surroundings through the view screen. "Life support systems are functioning normally," Zarvak reported. "The bay appears to be pressurized." Lyra stood, her decision made. "Prep for EVA. We didn't come all this way to admire the view from inside our ship." As the exploration team donned their environmental suits, Security Officer Grix approached Lyra. "Commander, I strongly advise caution. We have no idea what kind of defenses this structure might have." Lyra nodded, appreciating the Cropram's concern. "Agreed, Grix. We'll proceed with utmost care. But we can't pass up this opportunity to study something so far beyond our current level of technology." The airlock cycled, and the team stepped out onto the floor of the alien bay. Their suit lights illuminated a vast space filled with unfamiliar technology. As they moved deeper into the structure, strange symbols and pulsing conduits lined the walls. "This architecture," Elara mused, her voice filled with wonder. "It's as if it was designed by beings who perceived reality itself differently than we do." Ravi ran his scanner over a nearby console. "The power readings are off the charts. This single room could power all of Starbase Epsilon for centuries." As they explored further, the team came across a central chamber. At its heart stood a pillar of light, within which floated a small crystalline object. "That's it," Elara breathed. "That's the source of the unknown element." Lyra approached cautiously, her hand outstretched. As her fingers neared the light, the crystal pulsed, and suddenly, the chamber came alive. Holographic displays sprang into existence all around them, filled with scrolling alien script. It's some kind of database," Zarek exclaimed, his antennae quivering with excitement. The biggest repository of knowledge I've ever seen. As the team marveled at their discovery, none of them noticed the subtle shift in the energy patterns around them. It wasn't until Grix called out a warning that they realized something was wrong. "Commander, the exits are sealing themselves." Lyra spun around to see energy barriers forming over every doorway. The crystal at the center of the room pulsed more rapidly, and a deep, resonant hum filled the air. "Ravi, what's happening?" Lyra demanded, her mind racing to find a solution. The engineer's fingers flew over his portable interface. "It seems we've triggered some kind of security protocol. The system thinks we're intruders." As if in response to Ravi's words, mechanical sentinels emerged from hidden compartments in the walls. Their sleek, alien forms moved with fluid grace as they advanced on the team. "Defensive positions," Lyra ordered, drawing her energy pistol. Grix moved to the front, his massive form providing cover for the others. What followed was a frantic battle against technology millions of years more advanced than their own. The team's weapons seemed to have little effect on the Sentinels, while the aliens' energy weapons left scorching marks on the floor and walls. "We need to deactivate the security system," Ilara shouted over the din of battle. "If I can interface with the main console, I might be able to convince it we're not a threat." Lyra nodded grimly. "Grix, Ravi, provide cover fire. Zarak, help Ilara with the translation. I'll draw their attention." The commander darted out from behind cover, firing her pistol to attract the Sentinel's focus. As she weaved between their attacks, Ilara and Zarak rushed to the central console. Time seemed to stretch as Ilara worked feverishly to decipher the alien interface. Sweat beaded on her blue skin, her eyes narrowed in concentration. Zarak's antennae twitched rapidly as he fed her translations of the alien script. "Got it," Ilara exclaimed suddenly. The Sentinels froze in place, their weapons powering down. A moment of tense silence fell over the chamber before a new hologram materialized before them. It took the form of a being unlike any they had ever encountered, a creature of pure energy, its form constantly shifting and flowing. When it spoke, the words seemed to form directly in their minds. "Greetings, young ones. You have passed the first test." Lyra stepped forward, her weapon lowered but still at the ready. "Test? Who are you? What is this place?" The being's form shimmered. "We are the archivists, custodians of knowledge left behind by those you might call the precursors. This station is but one of many repositories scattered throughout the galaxy, waiting for species advanced enough to find them and worthy enough to access their knowledge." As the implications of this statement sank in, the team exchanged looks of awe and trepidation. They stood on the brink of gaining access to the accumulated wisdom of a civilization so advanced it bordered on the divine. "And now that we've passed your test," Lyra asked, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. The archivist's form pulsed. "Now, you face a choice. The knowledge contained within this archive has the power to advance your civilization by millennia. But with great power comes great responsibility. Are you prepared for the consequences of such rapid advancement?" Before Lyra could respond, alarms began blaring throughout the chamber. The archivist's form flickered, its voice taking on an urgent tone. "Warning, archive integrity compromised. Containment failure imminent." Ravi's eyes widened as he checked his readings. "Commander, the power core is destabilizing. If it goes critical, it could take out half the sector." Lyra's mind raced. They had come seeking knowledge and discovery, but now faced a catastrophe of unimaginable proportions. As klaxons wailed and emergency lights flashed, she knew that the next few moments would determine not just their fate, but potentially that of countless innocent lives throughout the sector. "Archivist," Lyra called out, her voice cutting through the chaos. "How do we stop this?" The energy being's form wavered, its voice strained. "The failsafes have been corrupted. Manual intervention required. But the process is dangerous. It may require sacrifice." As the chamber shuddered around them, Laura exchanged glances with her team. In their eyes, she saw fear, determination, and unwavering trust. Whatever came next, they would face it together. With time running out and the fate of the sector hanging in the balance, Laura steeled herself for the difficult decisions ahead. The true test of their mission, and of humanity's readiness to join the galactic community, was about to begin. The resolution. The ancient archive trembled, its vast energies threatening to tear it apart. Commander Lara Chen stood at the center of the chaos, her mind racing to find a solution. The lives of her crew, and potentially billions throughout the sector, hung in the balance. Archivist, Lyra called out, her voice steady despite the urgency of the situation. What exactly needs to be done to stabilize the core? The energy being's form flickered, its voice strained. The containment field must be manually reset, but the chamber is flooded with lethal radiation. Ravi's eyes widened as he processed this information. Commander, I might be able to jury-rig a shield to protect someone long enough to reach the controls, but it would be a one-way trip. A heavy silence fell over the team, broken only by the wail of alarms and the groaning of the failing structure around them. I'll go, Grix rumbled, stepping forward. My species has a higher tolerance for radiation. Lyra shook her head. No, Grix. Your strength might be needed here if things go sideways. Oh. It has to be me, Ilara interrupted, her voice calm but determined. My biotic abilities can provide an additional layer of protection, and if something goes wrong with the interface, I have the best chance of figuring it out. Lyra met the Asari's gaze, seeing the resolve in her eyes. With a heavy heart, she nodded. All right. Ravi, get that shield ready. Zarak, see if you can boost the comm signal to keep us in contact. Grix, be ready to seal the chamber once Ilara's inside. As the team rushed to prepare, Laura pulled Ilara aside. Are you sure about this? Ilara smiled softly. In my 1,000 years, I've learned that moments like these define us. This is bigger than any one life, Lyra. It's been an honor serving with you. Tears pricked at Lyra's eyes, but she blinked them away. There would be time for grief later, if they survived. With Ravi's makeshift shield in place and final preparations made, Ilara stood before the sealed door to the core chamber. She took a deep breath, summoning her biotic energy to form a shimmering barrier around her. Good luck, Lyra said softly as the door slid open. Ilara stepped into the blinding light of the core chamber, the door sealing behind her. The team watched anxiously on the monitors as she navigated through the maze of pulsing energy conduits. I've reached the main console, Ilara's voice crackled over the comm, beginning the reset sequence now. Tense minutes passed as Ilara worked. The structure's shaking intensified, and Lyra could see the strain on her friend's face as she fought against the rising radiation levels. It's not working, Ilara's voice came through, tinged with pain. The system's too corrupted. I'll have to do it manually. Before anyone could protest, Ilara's hands plunged into the swirling energy of the core itself. Her body convulsed as raw power surged through her, but her face remained set in grim determination. On the other side of the door, alarms suddenly fell silent. The shaking subsided, and the oppressive feeling of impending doom lifted. She did it, Ravi whispered in awe. But their relief was short-lived. As the core stabilized, Ilara collapsed to the ground, her body racked with residual energy. Ilara, Lyra cried out, hold on, we're coming for you. The archivist's form materialized once more. The danger has passed, thanks to your companion's sacrifice. But I'm afraid. No, Lyra cut him off. There has to be a way to save her. You have the knowledge of the precursors. Surely there's something we can do. The energy being hesitated. There is a possibility, but it would require merging your friend's consciousness with the archive itself. She would become part of this repository, gaining access to all its knowledge, but losing her physical form. Lyra's mind reeled at the implications. Can she hear us? Can we ask her? The archivist paused, and suddenly Elara's voice filled the chamber, weak but clear. "I can hear you, Lyra. And I want to do this. Think of what we could learn, what we could share with our people." Tears streamed down Lyra's face as she nodded. Okay, Elara, if you're sure." "I am," came the reply, stronger now. "This isn't an end. It's a new beginning." With a gesture from the archivist, Elara's body in the core chamber began to glow. It grew brighter and brighter until they had to shield their eyes. When the light faded, she was gone. A moment of silence passed before a new hologram flickered to life, Elara, but now composed of the same energy as the archivist, her form shimmering with untold knowledge. "Hello, my friends," she said, her voice echoing with newfound power and wisdom. The team stared in awe, joy and sorrow mingling in their hearts. Elara's sacrifice had not only saved them, but had opened up possibilities beyond their wildest dreams. Over the next few days, the team worked tirelessly to understand the archive and prepare for their return to Starbase Epsilon. Elara, in her new form, guided them through the vast repository of knowledge, carefully selecting information that humanity and their allies were ready to receive. As they made final preparations to depart, Lyra stood before Elara's holographic form. "I wish you could come back with us," she said softly. Elara smiled. "In a way, I will. The knowledge I've gained, the discoveries we'll share, they'll shape the future of not just humanity, but all the species of our alliance. And I'll always be here, watching over the archive, ready to help when the time is right." With heavy hearts but minds brimming with new possibilities, the team boarded the Curiosity. As they pulled away from the ancient structure, Lyra looked back one last time at the place where everything had changed. The journey back to Starbase Epsilon was filled with anticipation and careful planning. They knew the knowledge they carried would revolutionize their understanding of the universe, but it had to be handled responsibly. Upon their return, the station erupted in a mix of celebration and sullen remembrance. Lyra stood before the assembled crews and dignitaries, recounting their incredible journey and Elara's heroic sacrifice. "We stand at the dawn of a new era," Lyra concluded, her voice carrying across the hushed crowd. "The knowledge we've gained comes with great responsibility. But I believe that together, united in our diversity and our shared quest for understanding, we can face whatever challenges lie ahead." As the assembly broke into applause, Lyra's gaze drifted to the stars visible through the station's viewport. Somewhere out there, Elara watched over them, a guardian of ancient wisdom and a beacon for the future. The adventure that had begun with a mysterious anomaly had transformed into something far greater, a stepping stone towards humanity's destiny among the stars. And though the path ahead was uncertain, Lyra and her team had proven that with courage, sacrifice, and an unwavering spirit of exploration, there was no challenge they couldn't overcome. As Starbase Epsilon buzzed with excitement and plans for the future, Lyra allowed herself a small smile. Whatever came next, they would face it together, guided by the light of discovery and the enduring legacy of those who had gone before. The end of one chapter had become the beginning of another, more grand adventure. And as the stars twinkled in the vast expanse of space, they seemed to whisper of the endless possibilities that awaited them all.